far and away the highlight of Monday's Raw was Kalisto versus Del Rio for the U.S. title. Now, I have no idea what was in the water that day in November when they had that match I think it was the semifinals in the WWE World Heavyweight Championship tournament that was going to culminate at Survivor Series. They had their first ever match, and I was so excited for it, but it was not a good match. It was a bad match. There was a lot of botches. They didn't work well together. And I was disappointed. I was very disappointed that it did not work out well for Kalisto, or the whole match was just not good. Yeah, like I said, I don't know what was in the water that day that caused them to have a bad match, but there's matches on SmackDown and Raw this past week, and the last week alone, were great. The match on SmackDown was really good, and the match on Raw was even better. Most of it was pretty good action, but when it got down to the final few minutes, I was sitting on the edge of my seat, marking out, and I don't usually yell or go crazy when I'm watching Raw in my house just because I don't want to wake anyone up or whatever, because it was on late, 10 o'clock, some people already sleep in my household. But I went nuts. I didn't break a window or anything like I will when AJ Styles, or if he debuts, rather, in the Royal Rumble match. But it was still a great moment. I thought it was a really, really good match, an emotional win for Kalisto, who they're finally getting more mic time to. Del Rio's promo beforehand was not great. It was all right. The mosquito talk was kind of stupid, but it was fine promo. And him claiming, that he was the reason why John Cena's hurt was whatever. Del Rio has done that before when John Cena got hurt, when he left after Hell in a Cell. When Edge retired 5 years ago, he took credit for that. So that's what his character does. That's what heels do. But I didn't think the promo was, anything special. But the match itself, I thought, was really, really good. If there's any one thing to check out from Raw this week, not even counting the fact that the title changed hands, that's not even including that fact. I'm just, speaking solely off the fact that the match was really, really good. Nothing else was, there were some other pretty good parts of the show, but if there's any one match to check out, it's this one. Kalisto and Del Rio worked very well together. There had been reports that Kalisto was going to take Cena's place in their U.S. title match at the Royal Rumble because Cena got hurt, and thankfully they did the title match on Raw to kind of, switch up the formula of the show. I can't remember the last time we had... When was the last time a title change? I mean, obviously Roman Reigns, but before that, the tag... No, I don't even know. I'm trying to think of the last U.S. title change we had on Raw. Let's see. Del Rio won at Hell in a Cell. Cena won at Night of Champions. Rollins SummerSlam. Cena before that, WrestleMania. Technically, Rusev won it on Raw, but it was on the WWE Network, so I don't know if that technically counts. And then Sheamus won it on Raw 2 years ago, so it's been a while since the U.S. title changed on Raw. I was talking to RJ back and forth about it via text. We both agreed it probably should have happened on SmackDown, just because, interestingly enough, it's been 3 years, it was 3 years to the day that the world title changed hands on SmackDown yesterday on the 11th, when Del Rio, again, coincidentally enough, won the World Heavyweight Championship in that last man standing match in Miami from The Big Show. So I thought they should have done it on SmackDown just to, kind of give us the feeling that anything had happened on SmackDown. It wouldn't have made that big of a difference. It would have been spoiled. I mean, people probably would have been like, oh, Kalisto won the belt on SmackDown, which, in retrospect, maybe it was. I'm kind of happy it happened on Raw. Unless SmackDown goes live one of these weeks like they did when, right before Christmas with Super SmackDown. Don't do a title change just because it's going to get spoiled ahead of time, which I'm not a fan of. Well, you can do a title change on SmackDown, but I don't know. I'm just speaking selfishly because I hate spoilers. But it was a great moment. I marked out. I was happy to see it. Kalisto, very deserving. I talked about it right here on the show last week with RJ, that Kalisto will be a breakout star in 2016. RJ himself wrote in the article last week or 2 weeks ago on nextairwrestling.net, cheap plug, check it out, his bold predictions for 2016. And one of them was that Kalisto would be a mid-card champion. And he wrote that many weeks ago when Kalisto was still a part of the Lucha Dragons, before Sin Cara got hurt, before John Cena got hurt. So it was a bold prediction, and he got it right 11 days in. He is the new United States champion. So a great moment. I'm very happy to see Kalisto as the new United States champion.